Gender inequality is one of the most controversial subjects in history. All over the world, men and women have different expectations and roles in society. Unfortunately, women have had equality issues with men for hundreds of years and still do to this day. To prove to you why gender inequality is such a problem, I will focus on the USA, Middle Eastern and North African countries, as well as China. There's no doubt that women throughout the USA are just as smart, successful workers as men. Females make up 60% of college students across the US. Women continue to earn more master's and doctorate's degrees than men, yet 11% of the biggest law firms have no females on the committee. Politics is one of the major fields in which women are not expected to participate in. Today, in the 112th Congress, women occupy only 17 of the 100 Senate seats. Is our world getting overrun by men? Many of the views on gender stereotypes are reinforced by media. It not only suggests that women can reach the success men do when it comes to the workplace, but it also suggests that females belong in the house, cleaning and taking care of children. When it comes to wages, American women get paid less than men, no matter what position. Studies show that a full-time working woman makes 77 cents for every dollar that is made by a man. I believe these unfair rules are oftentimes made unconsciously by men because for thousands of years, men have been the hunters or the money makers, and women have been the caretakers or housewives. I'm not saying that men are bad, but I am saying that they need to get the preset notion out of their head that women are not as capable. This brings me to my second issue, gender inequality in the Middle East and Northern Africa. It's a well-known fact that women in those regions have barely any rights at all. The rights I'm about to tell you are examples of extreme gender discrimination and things prohibited from women. Number 1. In Saudi Arabia, women are not allowed to drive or even ride a bike. There are also strict rules on men driving women places. Number 2. Clothing requirements. Most all Middle Eastern countries force the women to be covered completely from head to toe in garments called burqas. Women are forced to hide their identities and appear hidden around men. This is completely disrespectful to women. In 2002, an all-girls school had caught fire in Saudi Arabia. Police forbade a group of girls from leaving the firing building because the girls' heads were not properly veiled. The group of girls all died that day due to clothing requirements. Number 3. The third law prohibited to women is the access to divorce. In Lebanon, females who have been beaten cannot file for a divorce unless there was a clear eyewitness. Number 4. Access to education. Oftentimes, girls are taken out of school once they hit puberty in Afghanistan, and only a shocking 18% of those women can read. Number 5. Rights to travel. In Iraq, Morocco, Libya, Syria, Jordan, Yemen, and Oman, married women must have complete permission from their husbands to leave the country for any reason. Number 6. Violence. Violence against women in these regions is completely natural and sometimes even encouraged. That is the number 1 most extreme example of gender discrimination and must be stopped. Number 7. Custody rights. In Bahrain, judges have the authority to completely deny women custody of their children for any reason whatsoever, and people who fight back against this rule are often killed. Number 8. Female infanticide. The extermination of a female baby is often practiced in the Middle Eastern countries. There are lots more men living in these countries because of how often female fetuses are aborted, or because of physical neglect to an infant. The particular issue is very common in China as well. Even though China isn't quite as bad as the Middle East, it is also very unequal when it comes to gender rights. Because Asia is so populated, there are laws stating that you can only have one baby, and because of the preference for sons, female babies are often aborted. As for the work world in China, women are again treated differently. The recruiting advertisements Men specifically wanted for manager roles, and women are specifically wanted for secretary roles. This just goes to show the expectations for females compared to men. There are other issues, such as the lack of protection against domestic violence. This concludes my point. Even though there are many successful, hardworking women who deserve to be treated equal, gender inequality is still very prominent throughout the world today. In America, it may be on a more subconscious level, but is it really gone? No. This is an issue that we must work to fix, and it all starts with knowledge.